What Ben wanted was to change the narrative, to divert attention from investigating Andrew and his facilitators to investigating the policemen, because he knew that if Andrew were investigated, him too would be involved. This is a screenshot of a message Ben had with someone else. He sent this message to Harrison by mistake, and in this message he says, now that we have the attention of the nation, let us change the narrative. So clearly he was intentional about changing the narrative, but we are going to get back to this. Let us establish some facts. When the story of Andrew Ahmed, Salim and Afiba made headlines, very little was known about Mr. Andrew because it was more or less like his life was shrouded in secrecy. Nothing was known about Ben or his Niger 24 news. But Ben knows everything about Andrew. He has known Andrew for the past 10 years, and he knows virtually everything about Andrew, but he pocketed everything and remained silent. But because he understands the way the Nigerian social media works, after the death of Andrew, Ben decided to speak up because he noticed that the social media was heated and little was known about Andrew. He felt that if he comes out now to tell us that he has known Andrew for the past 10 years, spill some selective truths, all of us would love him. We will hail him as the hero, trying to expose the monster. Then we will run to his page, follow him, like and engage, and boom, his blogging career would start.
So I'm Ben Samuel. I run the news Niger 24 News.
Okay.
It's a blog, there's a website, and we have staff and all that. And Andrew has been my friend for over 10 years.
Okay.
So I know him. We live in the same community in the UK, and I know quite a bit of him. So I visited when I was in Nigeria, and every time I come to Nigeria, I do go to see him in Port Harcourt. So it's quite a very unfortunate situation that we're discussing about. But the conspiracy out there and the narrative out there is taking the main focus from the main reason why this thing took place.
Ben wanted to gain popularity, boost his blogging career with the death of Andrew, just like we have seen in the past of people cutting popularity on their friends' death. His plan was that once he gets the attention he wanted, and then pose as a legit figure giving legit information, he would then change the narrative and push the discussion in the direction that he wanted, diverting attention in those areas that he do not want us to touch. Let us remember that Andrew had always said that he had a blogger friend. Now, an alleged Andrew girlfriend had come out to speak. In one of the messages Ben released of him chatting with the girl, Ben himself told the girl that he is looking for 2 ladies he can employ to work on his blogging site. So clearly we can see that Ben has a blogging ambition. This might be the reason why every minute he is posting on Instagram, hoping that it would go viral so that people will notice him and notice his blog. So Ben never wanted any sincere investigation because he knew that if investigation is carried out, he would be involved. What he wanted was to get our attention, then he can divert the narrative. He was very serious about giving certain information so that he would appear like someone that really has good information about Andrew. This way, he would appear as an authority and gain our attention. So he was very serious about giving this information that he was sending screenshots of messages to Harrison. Mistakenly, he sent the wrong ones. He mistakenly sent a screenshot of messages in exchange with others that ultimately exposed him. Now we know so much about Ben, his plans and everything because of those messages he sent that ultimately exposed him. Here he said, now that we have the attention of the nation, let us change the narrative. It is believed that this is a message he might have exchanged with a member of the cartel, but by mistake he sent this to Harrison. In the same message, he says, we are doing this for Andrew. But before we come back to this, let us establish something. Andrew lived in the UK until he died. Ben still lives in the United Kingdom. People that have been in a civilized world knows that everybody is very careful. Nobody wants to have a dent or criminal record. This is a very serious issue that people are always careful. They don't want anything that will soil their name, their image, or their profile. If you were somebody, if somebody is your friend and the person notices or perceives that you might be somebody that will implicate him or give you a bad name, they always do everything possible to distance themselves from you because they don't want their name to be soiled. This is because they have a working database. Everything is linked up. If anything happens to your profile, it reflects in everything. So because of this, people in Western worlds are always careful. They don't mingle with criminals. They don't mingle with people with bad record. They don't mingle with people that will give them bad name. Ben is so much aware of this fact because he lives in the United Kingdom. He knows the consequences of having bad record. But now when I read the message, the chat between Andrew and Ben as released by Mr. Ben, I was very surprised at how close, how friendly they are as best of friends. From the chat that Ben released, you can see that he and Andrew were best of friends. And yet, Andrew was an ex-convict, a wanted man. Even when he relocated to Nigeria, he continued in his evil ways. He went as far as sending graphic details and X contents to Ben. And Ben was okay with all of this and pocketed everything without any attempt to expose him. Yet he knows the implications of such a relationship with a criminal, a wanted man, because he lives in the UK. He knows that communicating with Andrew was not good for his record. And above all, the UK police released a statement asking for people that knows whereabouts of Andrew because he was a wanted man. Ben knows all of these things, yet he maintained a very close relationship with Mr. Ben. If you think about this, you will realize that their friendship cuts deeper than we think. Their friendship is deeper than we think. It is not just ordinary shit. They are partners, probably partners in crime, but it shows that they have deep ties. They have deeper, stronger ties. It is not just about friendship. And this is why even Andrew, when Andrew died, Ben said, we are doing this for Andrew. What was he doing for Andrew? He was trying to divert attention. He was trying to do things that would prevent Andrew from being investigated. Probably because if Andrew is to be investigated, him too would be involved. So he was doing that for Andrew. Now let us talk about the supposed Andrew girlfriend. There is a lady who is said to be Andrew's ex-girlfriend. This same lady had accused Ben of recording her and Andrew making out, and even also accused Ben of being involved in threesome. However, Ben denied this, but he admitted recording them make out. Now this is how it goes. Ben came into Nigeria. He was in Port Harcourt for one thing or the other. Then he went to Andrew's house. He was resting in his room in Andrew's house. Then this lady who had visited Andrew came to his door, knocked and called him to come and watch them make out. According to Ben, he said no. Then the girl left. After the girl left, Andrew called him and told him to come. And Ben went without resistance, without objection. He went, took the phone, and recorded them make out. According to him, he said he recorded them for some minutes before he left. The girl accused Ben of joining them, but Ben denied this. Let us look at this. Ben should be in his late 40s or in his early 50s. Andrew too was in the same age bracket before he died. Now, doesn't this baffle you that these two old men could involve in this kind of act? That these two old men in their early 50s or late 40s could involve in this act of making out and then recording it for what purpose? Think about this. Without any regards to Mr. Ben, without any prior notice, Andrew sent his girlfriend to go and call Ben to come and record and watch them make out. Does this sound right? Does this sound like Andrew has lots of regard for Ben? Or does it sound like this is what they are already used to, hence he can casually invite him like that? Because I felt if this is their first time of such thing, Andrew wouldn't have invited him so casually like that. So for him to casually invite him like that, and for Ben to come, whether reluctantly or not, took the phone and recorded them, shows that this is one thing that is normal with them. It shows that this is what has been going on with them. But maybe it might be the first time they are doing it with the girl. If Andrew can make out with a lady and then invite and allow Ben to watch and record them, it means there is nothing he cannot send or show them. This is why he can confidently and comfortably send X-rated contents of his victims to Mr. Ben. Ben told us that Andrew records people in his house, but he only documents the X contents. So it means that Ben actually knows that Andrew was doing these things. But what he has not told us is that he might be the one documenting all of these things. Rachel told us that when Andrew was abusing her, he was recording it and at the same time sending it to someone else. Who was that person? Ben himself admitted that Andrew sent him videos of Rachel. He also admitted that Andrew sent him videos of Celine, Afiba, and other victims. Why was Andrew sending these things to him? Because he keeps and documents them for him. So we can say that Andrew was sending these X-rated contents to him to keep for him. And this shows that he was Andrew's archive man. We know that Ben only tells us half-truths. When Harrison first asked him if he had ever recorded Andrew making out with a lady, he denied this. It was only when alleged Andrew's girlfriend came out to speak and say that Ben recorded him and Andrew making out that Ben admitted that he actually did. So it shows that Ben is telling us half truths. This also means that if other ladies can come out and speak, a lot of things will be revealed about Ben. After the alleged Andrew's girlfriend came out to speak and accused Ben of threesome and recording them, Ben came out to speak. And it was at this point he said he called the girl. And because he knows that the girl is being used, according to Ben, he told the girl to be careful of the things she was saying. He told the guy to say the truth. Otherwise, he will say things that will expose him. I believe that Mr. Ben was using a coded language, and by exposing the girl, he meant exposing her sex steps. So he was saying this indirectly to make the girl to shy away from speaking. Already the girl had first come to him and asked him, Ben, how about those steps that are with and what if someone releases the step? So by this question, it means that the girl is already afraid. And he came to Ben to ask this. Now Ben speaking with the girl on the phone, making reference to that he doesn't want to come clear because he knows that the girl is already being used. If he used such language, the girl will expose him more. So he decided to use coded language. Be careful what you say, otherwise I will say things that will expose you and push the discussion in the direction that you will not like. He was using coded language. When Andrew died, Ben wanted to ride on the waves of his death to fame. He thought that all of the ladies Andrew abused will never talk again. He thought that they will forever be afraid to speak because of their ex-contents being released. We can see this fear when the alleged Andrew girlfriend approached Ben and asked about the sex tape. So with this in mind that all the ladies have been silenced forever, Ben decided to push the discussion in whatever direction he wanted. He wanted the discussion to go in the direction he wanted so that he can say whatever he wanted. We know how blackmailing works. Not many people would have that courage to defy the blackmailer. He didn't know that few of them were going to defy him and expose him. Things are coming out. People are confessing. And all of these things will ultimately lead to exposing him more. Before he thought he would be the only one speaking. And in that case, he can push the discussion in whatever direction he wanted. But now the victims are coming up to speak. This was not what he expected. She then accused him of being the blogger friend that Andrew always talked about and threatened his victims with. If you think about this, it makes a lot of sense. He is a social media guy. He has a website. He is a blogger. Why was those X-rated content being sent to him for safekeeping? So that in case of anything, they can use it against the victims. This revelation from the chair was unbelievable to Mr. Ben because he never expected this. He thought that all the guests have been silenced so that he would be the only one to be speaking. Then the Andrew's girlfriend also speak. This girl had initially wanted to remain anonymous. She spoke to Harrison and to Sapio anonymously. But Ben went ahead to release her picture because he thought releasing her picture would make the girl to shy away and then retrace. This was intentional. Now we can see that Ben is getting frustrated because his plans are not working. He wanted to push this discussion against the police. But now it is not working because of the testimonies coming out from these victims and also because of the screenshots he sent to Harrison by mistake. Those were things that even exposed him more and more. In one of those screenshots he sent to Harrison, he had said, now that we have gotten the attention of the nation, we are going to change the narrative. This was his plan, but it was frustrated because he exposed himself and also because of the testimonies of the victims. In the same message, he said he was doing this to protect Andrew. So he was trying to protect Andrew against investigation so that he too would not be investigated because he knew that if Andrew is investigated, he would be exposed as well. He was angry because his partner in crime was killed and his plan to launch his blogging career on the waves of his death is not working. Above all, lots of fingers are pointing at him. He became frustrated and that is why every day you see him posting on Instagram in all attempts to gain popularity so that his blogging career would boom. As a result of his frustration, he began to accuse and attack everybody. He began to attack Harrison, saying that he works with the police.
Harrison, this is the petition that has gone to the IG office. You don't understand what you committed yourself to do. You are not interested in the girls. That is why you went to identify fake bodies. You are part of the people. The information that we are getting, whether you like it or not, you are part of the police people. It's like hiding your key and be looking for it. It is time for you to come out clear. It's getting clear now, Harrison.
He began to attack Sapio. He began to attack every other person that tried to talk or ask logical questions because he never wanted the discussion to go in any direction. that will raise more questions about his involvement. In another screenshot he sent to Harrison by mistake, we see that he had conversations with Favor, Chikwere, and another Andrew's friend from Jos. Now, who are these people? When Celine and Afiba was traveling to Aba to go and meet Mr. Andrew, it was Favor Wibe who sent 100,000 naira to Celine for transportation. The next day, after these two ladies went missing, 1 million naira was transferred from Celine's account to Favor Wibe's account. As much as we know for now, this was Favor's participation. Coming to Chikwere, when the policemen were with Andrew, maybe in an attempt to bribe them or something, Andrew told someone to transfer 1.5 million naira to an account provided by the policemen. The person that transferred that money is Chikwere. So we can see that these two people were working with Andrew and ultimately working with Ben too. More or less like the people were working for both of them. Or Ben know the people that were working for Andrew. If Ben wanted a holistic investigation, to date, why hasn't he said anything about Favor and Chikwere? Because he knows these people, they exchanged messages. All that Ben wanted was for the police to be investigated for the way they handled and killed Andrew, but he never wanted a holistic investigation to expose everything and everyone. But unfortunately, the tide turned against him. From all of this, we may not have actual evidence to prove his active participation in this crime. But one thing he cannot deny is his passive involvement, because intentionally, willfully, he covered all the atrocities. He was aware of everything, but he made no attempt to expose Andrew. For heaven's sakes, we are talking about human lives. How many more people would have been killed before Mr. Ben knew that he was going to speak out? Ben said he was afraid to speak to the police. So why didn't he sever the ties with Mr. Andrew? Why didn't he cut off Mr. Andrew? Why didn't he give him attitude? Cut him off, ignore him, block him or something, but they remain very close friends despite all the atrocities. If you are not courageous enough to report him to Nigeria or UK police, why didn't you cut him off? Why did you maintain close ties with a criminal, an ex-convict, a wanted man, a kidnapper, rapist, and even a small child in primary school knows how to cut off a bad friend? Once a little child notices that you are a bad friend or that you have negative influence, they cut you off. How come Ben, as old as he is, couldn't have cut off communication with Andrew? If Ben couldn't have cut off communication and friendship with Andrew because of all this evil he did, then it means their relationship is deeper than meets the eye. There are stronger bonds. They are partners, not just mere friends. They are partners. What is keeping them together is deeper than we know. If not, once Andrew was declared wanted in the United Kingdom, Ben would have distanced himself from him. But Andrew became an ex-convict, became a wanted man, relocated to Nigeria, continued in his atrocities, yet Ben see no good reason to cut him off. He can give us different excuses as to why he didn't cut off Andrew or expose Andrew, call the police, talk or do something. If Andrew molested, harmed or raped any of Ben's relatives, would he have kept silent? Would he have kept silent? Wouldn't he call the police? Wouldn't he expose Andrew? Or at least, wouldn't he cut Andrew off from himself? But he didn't do any of these things because his relatives were not involved, so he covered up everything. His excuse that he was afraid of reporting to the Nigerian police cannot justify his silence while crime of this magnitude was going on. He is on social media saying that he is not guilty, but let him first admit that he willfully kept silent while all this evil was going on. Let him admit first that he knows everything that was going on, and he decided not to talk by choice, not because he was afraid of what Andrew would do. If he admits this, then we can begin to listen to